Hello neighbors, today we're going to do an easy recipe. If you ask anyone that cooks or is learning how to cook, like what's their go-to dish, it's usually dakbokkeumtang. There's tons of different ways to cook it. Today we're going to experiment with wine. We've done the traditional way of cooking this in an old recipe, but today I want to show you a faster way. I want less liquid, so it's a little bit more curry-like, something that you can scoop right over to some rice, and it's going to be delicious. In the Korean marts, they usually sell one whole chicken that's been sort of separated into its pieces. If your local market doesn't sell whole chicken like this, no worries. Just use 1 kilo or 2 pounds of drumsticks or a combination of drumsticks and wings. Now, when it comes to this dish, most Koreans prefer like a very clean tasting broth. They don't like that very like poultry, that thick poultry smell in the broth itself. So 2 options here. Number 1, put all of this in a big mixing bowl and pour in some milk. And if you bathe it in milk for like 15-20 minutes, it takes out that poultry smell. Or number 2, you can blanch this chicken in hot water. By the way, if you're using very, very, very fresh chicken, you don't have to do any of that step. All right, then of course, get some rice going in the background. Fill a pot with water, and we're gonna put in some mirim, or you can put in some soju or sake, just 1 tablespoon. Once it's boiling, we're gonna put in all of the chicken. Then not for too long, just give it 3 minutes and watch all the scum rise up to the surface. All right, that's 3 minutes. Empty it out. Ooh, got some smoke, little concert. Nice. And of course, this chicken is not cooked. There's plenty of broth that's gonna seep out of this. We're gonna let this sit for just a second. Then we want 3 potatoes, each around the size of your palm. These are actually pretty big. Like this one I could throw a curveball with. Cut this into fourths, that's 1. Into fourths, I think these would be big enough pieces. And if you're using medium-sized potatoes, just cut them in half. Now I'm gonna do a little step here that's optional. You see how this potato, it has a very sharp edge? Ouch! When they boil in the pot, they're gonna keep going, ouch, ouch! We're basically just gonna go and round out the edges. We can do it the same as well. You see now it doesn't have sharp edges and it looks a little bit more organic. Yeah, this is a thing that they usually do during Thanksgiving, which is when you want the dishes to look extra nice. But again, you can skip this process. Then we're going to use 1 onion. This one is pretty big too. I don't know how I picked out such big ones. Then very simple, don't make it too small, about medium-sized cuts. Maybe a width like that, good enough. We got a stalk of spring onion. Let's split the bulb part. Let's just open it up. All right. Then about pinky length. Very good. Ooh, for this dish, you usually throw in some carrots. They usually go in for the color, but it's totally fine if you skip them. First thing, grab any white wine. Let's do 1/2 cup of any white wine. All right, very nice. And then we're gonna balance that out with another 1/2 cup, equal portions of mirim, which is the rice wine. All right, and this one is going to really grab that poultry smell while it adds sweetness. Mirim is sweet while that white wine has that dry flavor. Combine the 2. Then I need 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. That's 1. 4. 3 tablespoons of gochujang. That's Korean red chili pepper paste. That's 1. 3 tablespoons in. We'll add a tablespoon of gochugaru to the little pan. Very nice. Then 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Then of course the toasted sesame oil. We're going to do 2 tablespoons, that's 1, and 2, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and then a few cracks of black pepper, maybe 3 or 4 cracks. Then whisk this up. We want to break up that gochujang, make sure it gets mixed in evenly. All right, take a look. That's our goodness. Medium-high heat now. We're going to add in all the chicken, add in all of that sauce. Wow. Move the pieces around a little bit. And the important part, we're not going to add any water. We're going to infuse that chicken with the sauce. And now that chicken is going to start to cook and release its broth into that wine mixture with gochugaru and gochujang. When it starts boiling like this, let's put a top on it. Then important part, let's reduce this to a medium low. And let's let this gently simmer for 10 minutes. Alright, that's 10 minutes. Oh man, that's looking wonderful already. Carefully add in our potatoes and then our onions. It looks like there's no space, but just treat it like the Seoul Metro during rush hour. You just find a little space, push in with your butt, and then never look up. Don't make eye contact. Your pot is going to be a little bit overcrowded now, but don't worry, the onions are going to just turn into nothing very soon. And then the potatoes, they're going to slowly start soaking in some of that broth as well. Oh my goodness. We'll put the lid back on. Those potatoes are big, so we want some time for it to cook, but not crumble. I'd say about 20 minutes. Lift up the lid just every maybe 5 minutes, give it a nice stir so that everyone's getting mixed too. That's all the liquid coming out from the onions. Very nice, give it a nice stir again. Guys, I'm getting so hungry right now. Oh my goodness. Stir it through. Ooh. Sheesh. Now at this stage, the potatoes are going to start soaking in that broth. Oh. It's been exactly 20 minutes. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness gracious. And by this time, you should have very little broth left on the bottom. You see? Follow the spatula, guys, and you'll see very little broth at the bottom. This is perfect. Woo-wee. Very good. At this time, my friends, those green onions that we had earlier, we put them in, and then we're gonna just give them a stir again. You see how the potatoes have broken down and they've kind of added that starch to the broth, or the little broth left over, so it's like a, it's almost like a curry.
There's a reason why you asked me to buy big potatoes.
That's right. Wow, there it is, my friends. And then take a look at that chicken.
포테이토가 엄청 크네. 나 이렇게 큰 건 처음 봤어.
너도.
오빠가 큰 거 하라고 해놓고.
Let's go, let's go, let's make our way. Go, go, go.
Follow me.
There's no broth.
It's all so thin.
To the chicken and the potatoes. I told you my favorite part is actually the potatoes. Watch closely.
Watch me. Watch what I do.
And then get one of the potatoes.
Wow.
Break that in half again. And then try the potatoes first, guys. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That's like butter.
Butter?
A lot of restaurants in Korea, when they make dakbokkeumtang, they add a lot of sugar to make it very sweet. I don't like that. This one's a little bit more sophisticated. Very nice. And it's not overly spicy, guys.
Whoa.
It's really nice, huh?
I love it.
Ah, it's tough to eat with chopsticks. You get it in, a little bit of the leftover sauce like that. Back onto the rice, like a little sushi. Oh my gosh. Guys, who am I kidding? I'm gonna just bite this straight.
엄청 맛있어?
Oh my god, this sauce is so good, Katie. 진짜 맛있다. Neighbors, I challenge you, if you think you can make dakbokkeumtang, put your ego down just for a second, just for a second. Try it with the wine and the mirim combination and watch it evaporate away in the sauce, and then see how balanced of a spicy flavor that is. I don't know why I have my fist. I'm like, ah yeah. Try it out.